Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I have received a lot of emails lately from people asking what it's like to live in Alaska, how much does it cost to live here, and things like that. So I thought I'd do this quick video here to show you guys what it looks like in Alaska this time of year. And right now it's about 4 p.m. right? So this is what it looks like around 4 p.m. You can see that the sun is already starting to go down. But anyways, I thought I'd do this video just in reference to everyday life, utilities, and things like that. So let me go ahead and start off with fuel, because this time of the year, fuel is on everyone's mind. Do I have enough fuel to get me through the winter? Is the price of fuel going to go up? Should I wait to get fuel in case it goes lower? You know, it's kind of like a game. So fuel right now is actually a pretty good price if you do your own delivery. Right now, fuel oil is running for about $1.75 or so a gallon, which is actually a very good price. I remember last winter, fuel oil was about $1.95, $2.10 a gallon if you haul it yourself. Now, if you pay someone to haul it for you, like if you hire a company to come and fill up your tanks, you're going to end up paying about $1 more per gallon than what you can do it for yourself. So a lot of people, what they do is they wait till about the middle of summer or so, and then they get some tanks and they do their own fill-ups. However, it is a timely process, and getting your initial setup, your initial tank setup to do it yourself can also be an investment. For example, I did my own fuel last year, and it cost me about $300 in what I paid for the tank and the piping and all of that stuff. And it ended up saving me about $100 from what I would have had to have paid had I had it delivered. But that's calculating the $300 of equipment that I had to initially purchase in order to be able to do it myself. Now, if I do it again next year, it's going to end up saving me a little over $300, about $400 it'll end up saving me, and what it would cost for me to pay someone to deliver it above what it would cost for me to do it myself. In my case, it takes about 3 hours because I can't do it in one trip, so I have to do like 3 trips. So it takes about 3 hours for me to do it myself. In an average year up here, depending on how well insulated your home is, you're going to spend anywhere between, I would say, 400 to 700 gallons worth of fuel. And you can do the math as far as how much that comes out to be on whether you do it yourself or whether you have it delivered. We normally go through about 400 to 450 gallons in one winter. Now let's move on to electricity. Electricity in the summertime or in the non-winter time is not bad. My average electrical cost per month in the non-winter months is roughly $150 to $165 a month. Now during the winter, we have a lot more things that we have to hook up to electricity. For example, in addition to running everything that I already run in the summer, I'm running 2 heaters. I have 2 Toyo stoves, one for my main house and one for underneath my house where I have my water tanks and my utilities. In addition to that, I'm running a fan that's an attic fan. I run my attic fan in the winter time because what it does is it draws out the condensation that starts to build up in the attic due to any heat loss that's going through my ceiling into my roof. So what that does is it keeps from any ice dams from building up in my attic, which gives a longer life to the structure in my attic, and it prevents me from having to deal with leaks coming down my walls because of ice melting when the winter season is done. So I have a fan that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during the winter months. And what I consider to be the winter months are those months where the temperature drops below 32 and stays below 32, whether it's the high or the low for that day. So I probably run that attic fan anywhere between 6 to 7 months out of the year, 24 hours a day. In addition to that, I also have to plug in my vehicles. For those of you that don't know, in Alaska, we do what is called winterizing our vehicles. And what that does is it keeps the fluids and the battery in your vehicle warm or charged. That way it won't damage your vehicle when you try to start them at -30, -40 degrees. So each vehicle usually draws about 600 watts, but we only have to plug them in probably about 4 hours or so before we decide to start them. And a lot of people, what they do is they put their plugs in on a timer. So if you know that you're going to have to go to work at 6 in the morning, you set your timer for it to turn on around 2 o'clock in the morning. That way your fluids will be nice and warm by the time that you have to start your vehicle. So in the wintertime, my average electricity bill in the wintertime can run anywhere between $300 to $450, depending on whether or not we turn on electric heaters around the house. We have a couple of electric heaters here and there, like we have one in the bathroom. Just in case it gets a little too chilly in there, we can turn it on before we're going to go in there and shower or something like that. So yes, you're going to spend around anywhere between $350 to $450, I would say, during the winter. My average bill during the winter is about $365, $370 during the winter time. So that's a pretty costly thing there for us to have to pay in the winter time. Now, gasoline, you have to take gasoline into consideration. In the winter time, we always turn our vehicles on roughly 20 to 25 minutes prior to when we're going to drive off, to make sure that everything is warm and that the vehicle is not going to get damaged from you starting it right away and just taking off. Only because your vehicle is winterized doesn't mean that your entire vehicle is warm by the time you get ready to get in it. It's just the fluids in your engine and the battery that gets charged or warm while the vehicle is plugged into an outlet. So as far as gasoline goes, we probably use 1.5 times more gasoline during the wintertime than we do in the summertime. As far as taxes up here, as far as residence taxes, where I live, the mill rate is about 18.25, which means that you're going to end up paying on an annual basis for your property tax 1.825% of what your property is assessed at. So for example, let's say that your property was assessed at $100,000. You're going to end up paying $1,825 a year in property taxes for that property. Now, there are parts in Alaska about 50 miles north of where I live. It's outside of the borough in which I live. If you get land up there, you're not going to pay any property taxes. However, there's absolutely no utilities or nothing up there for you to get. So even if you needed a emergency vehicle or a police officer or a fire truck or something, if they even go up there, it will take them forever to go up there. So there's no property taxes up there at all. There's no way that you can get electricity or plumbing, or utility water or anything like that up there. So that's why there's no property taxes, because you're completely cut off from the borough. Registering a vehicle here in Alaska is not that expensive. I just registered the Toyota Tundra that I purchased to haul my water, and it cost me about $152, I believe it was. However, the reason it cost that much is because in Alaska, if you have a vehicle that is 8 years old or older, you can register it with what is called a Z tag, Z as in Zulu. And what that is it's a lifetime tag, meaning that once you register it, you never have to register it again for the lifetime of your ownership of that vehicle. Other expenses that you're going to run into is you're going to have to get winter tires for your vehicles. And you're going to have to pay for changeovers for those winter tires. So if you have winter tires for your vehicles, you're going to want to have them changed over before winter and before non-winter months. That way they can last as long as they can last. And that usually runs about $75, $80 per changeover. So that's about another $150 a year that you're going to end up spending to do a changeover for your winter tires, unless you have an extra set of rims. For example, I purchased an extra set of rims for my truck and for my wife's truck this year and had tires mounted on them, so now I can do it myself. But if you don't, you're looking at about an extra $150 a month that you're going to spend on that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all I can think about right now. If you guys have any other questions about like how much it costs to live here in Alaska and what the cost of living is and all that kind of stuff, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and maybe I'll go ahead and cover it during tomorrow's live stream. All right, well, I'm headed to Fred Meyer's real quick. I'm going to go buy some chicken wings for dinner. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will be able to join our live stream tomorrow, 3 p.m. Alaska time, tomorrow, Wednesday. All right, so having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have a great day. Hey, for my Patreons out there, I went ahead and dropped a video today on Patreon, so go ahead and take a look at it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and get something out of it. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out.